Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and it's Sunday, so that means a random destruction, and I'm in the T28 Prototype. It's a tier 8 match and it's on Ensk, and it's a standard battle, and this is one of the last games that I played in my T28 Prototype. I've now got rid of it. I have unlocked the T30 and I have moved on, and I was a little bit sad to see it go actually, and I think it may be one of those that I buy back at some point, but it had to go to fund the T30. I'm afraid. I've been looking forward to that tank and it has not disappointed me yet. Now I've only got the 120mm on it, but it's got a good rate of fire, and yeah, I'm having fun. Now I've got this fully upgraded. You're not going to get the same sort of details in this episode as you have been doing, I'm afraid. They've shut down the companion app, so I can only get the stock stats for these things at the moment, so I'm going to have to start jotting them down for when they feature in a video. But it's got a good gun, 120mm, just under 6 rounds a minute. I think it's about 5.8 or 5.9, something like that. I might be wrong. 203mm of armour on the front, very poor on the sides, and rear at 51. The turret's 203, 127, 102 front, sides, rear. The gun, from memory, I think is about 246 pen and 400 damage, and that's with your standard ammunition. But it is incredibly slow, as you are probably more than aware. But you sort of make it work, and when you're top tier you can afford to be quite aggressive. You've not got to be right on the front line, because you can and will get surrounded very easily and quickly, but you can be right behind it. And places like this, these alleyways where it restricts access to the side and the rear of your vehicle, sort of very good places for these, I've found. Now I was a bit slow there on the old trigger, and I could have probably hit that IS, but never mind. Can't change that, and I can go after him now. Just going to keep an eye on that Jagdpanther. Now a quick update, sorry, to the competition. I nearly forgot then. I knew I'd messed something up, and when I asked you to email me the pictures and everything, I didn't. Well, I thought you could basically access your email account through the browser on your PlayStation and attach the picture to it. And I should have checked it before that, and it's my own fault, and I didn't, I'm afraid. So to email it, you're going to either have to take a picture of the actual screen using your phone, or if you've got a USB flash drive or anything like that, you can stick it on there, stick it into your laptop or your PC, and email it that way. Otherwise, I think you can actually network them. Depending on how tech savvy you are, you can network and do it that way as well. But one of the easiest ways, obviously, is just take a picture of the screen with your phone and email it from your phone, or, like I say, copy it over to a USB flash drive. But let's get back to this. Right, I managed to take out that IS. The Jagdpanther, which I had seen coming round on me, but just wasn't in a position to do anything about. I did manage to get a hit back into him and finish him off just then. And now it's looking quite good in our favour. It's 12-6, and I tried to get out of the way, but yeah, sometimes you forget how slow this thing is. And all I did was make him crash, so apologies for that fella. Right, now the last 3 enemy tanks are down near the base. I wonder if I'm going to be fast enough to get back there to do anything about it. I've got 4 kills so far, so that's not too bad, fairly respectable. But it's going to be a bit of a haul to get back to the cap in this thing. And the T30 is a pleasant change. It is essentially a T29 with a big gun. And I love the T29. What's not to love? You know, everybody, even if you hate it, you can see its good points, definitely. But yeah, I'm definitely liking the T30. And sorry, I'm just rambling on while I'm trundling along in the T28 Prototype, just trying to get back. Messing about with my ammo selection, just trying to think what to go for, basically. Do I really need to reset cap? If I do, stick an APCR in or an HE. Oh, and also, my new pad has turned up from Custom Controllers, my Revenant Crafts Panther custom PlayStation 4 pad. So I will be uploading a video review of that tomorrow, and there are actually pictures of it on my Facebook page for any of you who want to go and have a look. And like I say, I'll be uploading a short video review of that tomorrow. That won't be tomorrow's video, it'll be a bonus video. No, I don't really think I'm going to manage to do anything else. This match is basically about over for me. But it was a decent match, and it was a nice one. I did have a couple of nice matches for my last few in the T28 Prototype, which is always nice when you're about to get rid of a tank. It's always sort of horrible finishing on a bad game, so it's nice when you can leave it on a high note. So not a ton of damage, 2,711. Could have been a lot better, but it was just a nice steady round, couple of nice bits in it. And I came second, and Bonkster, who I believe is one of my subscribers, I think, didn't I ram him to death in the KV5. I am terrible with names, but they were in the Crafts Panther and they look like they had a cracking game. They're a tier 7 medium and a tier 8 game, so again, it's always nice to come top, isn't it, when you're not top tier, so well done. And got 3 replays for you tonight, I think there. I think I've got a fun round in the A43, and then I've got a nice round back in the Gorynych. Now that it's out of its awakened state, I can use it again properly. Right, so this time we're on Northwest, and this is the first time I've been on this map for quite a while actually, and I'm in the A43 tier 6 Soviet medium tank, or one of the tier 6 medium tanks. The other one I think is the T3485, isn't it? Standard battle tier 6 match. And again, not a stunning match, but it was just good fun. You know those matches where you just have a laugh. Again, I've not got the figures for this, I'm afraid. I've got the hull armor, which is 60, 45 and 40, and when you top tier, the hull armor, if you're angled carefully and sort of popping in and out, you can get a few bounces off it, but again, you don't want to rely on it. The turret, I want to say the turret's about 80 all round or 90 all round, but again, it's just from memory. And the gun, well, it's 76mm, I think, and it's not bad actually. Decent penetration, good rate of fire, and decent damage. In fact, it reminds me a lot of the M1A2 from the Sherman Easy 8, but it's possibly does, I think, a bit less on the rate of fire, but a bit more damage and possibly penetration. But yeah, it's a nice gun. Now, I've come along this top road, which is normally fairly good for mediums. You can get along here quickly and try and get to this corner first, but then if you look at the team spread, I was a bit surprised actually. Everybody seems to have gone a different route, but almost ended up at the same destination, in a big pile in the middle of the map, which has left, well, that southeastern side dangerously bare. So I think somebody else might have put a marker down there, but I decided to go back, see what I can do. I'm top tier, I'm in a medium, you know, if I'm careful I can possibly hold them off, and I'm about to just, yeah, I've just marked it there as well. Now while I'm trying to look for trouble, I did do a couple of subscriber platoons today. I've not used the footage in this one, I was thinking about it, but then I might actually save it for sort of a subscriber platoon special. And like I say, if I'm showing us online, and I'm on World of Tanks, because if I'm showing online I might be on something else, but if I'm online, showing us online and I'm on World of Tanks, then I'm usually available for a platoon, maybe for a few matches or an hour or two, that sort of thing. But I'm going to try and terrorise this KV2 right now. I'm zipping around the rock, and this has been a nice surprise, this A43. I know it sounds daft, but I've not had the T3485 yet. I gone different ways because I've been through the T43, but I went through the KV13. I really like that, but this has been a very nice surprise, this tank. I really like it, and the reason I'm in it is you know, I got to the T34 lightweight and I want to go to the the T54 lightweight. I'm going to try and circle this guy. Oh, he got me there though. And I took a hit in the back of the turret from something. I need to get out of that place. Like I say, yeah, I went to the T54 lightweight. I want to get to the T54, but I've just got issues with high tier lights at the minute, sort of tier 8 light tanks. So I ended up selling it in frustration and decided to go to the T54 through a slightly alternative route, and one that not as many people seem to go down. So I thought I'd go through these, and I wasn't looking forward to this tank for some reason. I don't know why. I think I had some sort of preconceptions about it, but I'm actually really quite liking it. And it's always fun doing stuff like that to heavy tanks as well. It's always nice to do things like that. But yeah, I do like this tank. Like I say, it's got decent speed, manoeuvrability. It's got a decent gun. You know, quite decent armour as well. It just kind of all comes around to make a fairly nice package. And if you like your fast mediums and you've not been through this yet, then I'd possibly, yeah, I would definitely recommend it actually. Now, I think this is the guy that hit me in the back of the turret when I was taking on that KV2, so I'm going to return the favour. And this is kind of why I like my light tanks, but I prefer the lower tiers, sort of tier 5, 6 and 7 for the lights, and why I kind of like my fast mediums sometimes, is just doing things like that. And then all of a sudden, I think it was at this point in the match, I looked up and realised that there were actually only 3 enemy tanks left, and I thought I'd go and try and get a bit, you know, a bit more of a piece of the action. Right, now we've got a KV-1S up here. It looks like he's got the, I think is it an 85mm it gets. He's not got the dirt howitzer, but then again I've not got a lot of health to play with. And if it is the what I think is 85mm, I believe that's about 160 or 180 damage. So with me having 221 health left, a couple of hits, well, he could potentially, I think, one-shot me, or he could have done had he not died. But anyway, that's a moot point now. And we're down to the last guy on the enemy team, which is Churchill 7, and it's just a case of, am I going to get up here in time to farm a little bit more damage? And it doesn't look like it, and in fact no, he's just been dealt with. So that's the match, and again, it was nothing spectacular, but it was just a really good, fun match. I came out to that with 1600, well, doubled up to 3200 XP, 1693 damage done, and a tiny little bit of assisted as well, and again came second on the board. So it would have been nice to come top, but the guy who came first looked like he had a monster game with 5 kills, so well done to him. And last but not least is the Gorynych KV-5, and it's El Haloof in the rain, and it's a standard battle, and again a tier 8 match, which is more than likely when you're in the Gorynych, because obviously it's got premium matchmaking. Now it's a verily I think I've gone back in time to medieval times. It's a very well armoured machine, but it does have its weak spots. The larger of the front turrets there, the R2D2 turret as people call it, is quite a big weak spot, and it does have quite a big commander's hatch. It's got a decent rate of fire, I think it's 6 rounds a minute, which is quite different and nice for Russian tanks. They normally have massive alpha damage, very slow rate of fire. I think it's got about 167 mil of pen with about 300 average damage, and I think the armour values are roughly 180, 150, and I want to say 150 on the rear, possibly 130, something like that. But again, I will pull my finger out, get my act together, and all that sort of stuff. The next random destruction, so I can actually give you the proper figures for these. So I do apologise, but like I say, the app has gone down. Now I'm going to work my way up to this corner. Don't want CDC behind us though. He's been very brave or foolish, one or the other. And of course, donk the first shot. Don't lead him enough and completely miss, and nearly do the same with that one as it just clips the back of him. But he's dealt with. That was quite a suicidal run there. Well, that's one less enemy tank to worry about, and it looks like we've just lost one as well. Now, I've not actually done an ISU 122S review, as some of you may have noticed, you may not have, and it's been in the store. I think it's still in there for a few more days, or at least up until Tuesday. I can't quite remember the exact date, but tomorrow I did have planned another World of Fail, because I've not done one for a couple of weeks, and I've got a couple of decent clips for that. But Tuesday, unless anything new goes on the store, would you guys, if the ISU 122S is on there, would you like a review of that one? Is anybody interested in it? I know I've not done one. I'm not, like, it's not a bad tank, don't get me wrong, but it's just not one of my favourites. But if you'd like to see a review of it, let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do for Tuesday, and hopefully it'll still be on the store then. I'll have to check the date. Right, I'm going to set up for side scraping and try and take out this Ferdinand. They're very tough from the front, but if I can get to his lower plate, and I kind of was over-angling a bit there, but you can get away with it in things like the KV5 and the KV4 that have such thick side armour. You can almost get to a point where you look like you're over-angling, which tempts them into shooting your side, but you're actually not, because your armour's that thick in the first place that the effective thickness is still very good. And all they seem to be doing at the moment is tracking me, and the Boilermaker got round behind him, but he got taken out. And I put a bit of a derpy shot into his upper plate there on the move, just trying to close in so I can get to his lower plate and just finish him off instead of messing about on that corner. Because at the minute I'm not actually sure if there's any other enemy tanks up here with me. At the time I'd not paid attention to the map, particularly I'd been focusing a little bit on the Ferdinand, which can be a big mistake, and I didn't know if there are any other enemy tanks up here, so I didn't want to hang about and get outflanked. Now I've come around the corner and there's a VK3601 up on the hill, and I managed to knacker his engine, and then it's about this point I thought he's going to ram me, and indeed he did. So he was obviously tired of living and decided to commit suicide by KV5. But I did think that was very funny. I saw him on the top there, like I say, fix his engine, start gunning it, and it's like, really? You're going to ram me? Really? And, well, so be it. Now, there was an R44, so I felt very confident I was going for the ram, and then the 5100 popped up and tracked me, which was a bit of a situation. So I'm going to put a shot into him. I should have really locked onto the RL, but I'm going for the ram again, and that's why the Gorynych, or the KV5 should I say, is the ram king, because it is just so much fun, and the fact that I managed to get 2 ram kills in a match just makes things even sweeter. I managed to finish off the RL, but RT is really quite intent on punching my ticket. So at this point I think really I'm on borrowed time, and it's just a case of, can I get into RT cover? No. RT finally gets his wish and manages to plant one on me and take me out. In fact, he could have just put that one near me. I was on such little health. But that was the end of my little rampage in the KV5. And not a bad match. That's the first time I've taken it out actually since the Monster Mash event, and with 4,565 damage done I was quite happy with that, and 3,380 blocked, but still only a first class mastery. I got an extra 25% on the silver, but 197,000 is absolutely fantastic. But I've still not got my mastery badge on it. I'm assuming it uses the same data as the standard KV5, which has obviously been out for a while on Xbox, so somebody is doing very well in it. But anyway, that's tonight's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's entertained you, and I'll be back tomorrow, more than likely I think, with a World of Fail. So as always, take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.